We're currently in the second day of biomedicine. Today we're going to be talking about black cesarean sections. This topic is basically reality versus the Eurocentric view. In history, you'll find that a lot of firsts or discoveries have been very European based, when in reality, the people who we claim to be intellects in ancient Greek and ancient Roman times were actually products of Kemet, which is known as Egypt today. So these first mathematicians, first formulas and whatnot really originated from African people. For instance, when you look up who was the first person to complete a successful cesarean in Africa, you won't find it being African people. It's actually a British woman by the name of Dr. James Berry. This woman disguised herself as a man so that she'll be able to complete medical school and practice being a doctor. So basically, in Cape Town, South Africa, according to the European literature, this woman was able to successfully complete a cesarean section. And by the term successful, it means to have the mother and the child healthy after the procedure. In reality, these European folks never searched throughout African history or just in the current times that they were in. They never found or wanted to find anyone that was conducting these procedures. They just coined themselves the first of everything, and that's usually how it goes. They say that they discovered the Americas, they say they discovered Australia, when in reality, there are people already inhabiting that area. Back to this topic. So, there was an account in 1879 of a European witnessing a Uganda man doing what they say this person, Dr. James Berry, had did first. So, they said that this native surgeon in Uganda had intoxicated this pregnant woman. They got her to a semi-state of intoxication by a large dose of banana wine. After she was intoxicated, he painted her abdomen and he began to wash his hands with banana wine. And there we go again. You see these African people having a higher intelligence than these European people for basic techniques, especially hygiene. So once he washed his hands, sanitized his hands before dealing with his patient, he then began to make his incisions. When there was too much bleeding, he actually stopped the bleeding with red hot iron. After he made his incision, after he pulled out the baby, after he manually extracted the placenta, he massaged the uterus so that it could contract. Once it was contracted, then he closed the wound with iron needles. So this European man watched this all happen, and he couldn't help but wonder how long these Ugandan Africans were conducting cesarean sections. He said the way that it flowed, you can tell it was something that was present in Africa for a while. That wasn't his first time, and that wasn't something that was new to the area. So not only did this Ugandan account occur in Africa, but there are other people that are saying that Rwandese did the same type of botanical preparations as anesthesia and these same botanical preparations to promote wound healing. So naturally, you can start to observe that African people have this superior genetic gene pool that it allows them to understand what germs are before it was coined by European terms. They were able to understand what hygiene was before European people accepted what they have been taught, because European people were taught hygiene and Kemet. Kemet was real big on cleanliness. In the modern times today, we see that medicine and cleanliness go hand in hand. But that's after they killed so many patients and after they threw out the belief that they needed to wash their hands before dealing with patients. The beautiful thing about this cesarean section topic is it shows that African people have always been intelligent. We've always had a gene pool that had a higher intelligence than, let's just leave it at Europeans. than the Eurocentric view of reality. Even though they called us savages, monkeys, and other terms to demean us and make us seem inferior, we have always had, in relation to Europeans, a superior understanding of life. And that is something that I wanted to bring to the table with this concept of Black cesarean sections.